What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch gaming video that I have here for you guys today. We have some awesome information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's smart steering feature enables a young girl to overcome her handicap, and she suffered a stroke when she was only 9 months old. This really impacted her right hand to the degree that she had trouble using it. Now, this wasn't very cool when she would play with her siblings when it comes to video games, and they could play fine and she couldn't. But now, thanks to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Smart Steering, she can finally play and get in on the action like all of her other siblings. So here's a straight quote from the article here. Thanks to Mario Kart 8's new auto drive feature, she can now steer with her left hand and let the game drive for her or vice versa. I'm sure this feature would be an annoyance to many, but for my daughter, who would otherwise not really be able to participate, it is the best feature ever added to a Mario Kart game. She is currently sitting in my living room with my 2 other kids and my wife, and all of them are playing Mario Kart and laughing their heads off. This is truly a day I won't forget, thanks to Nintendo. So once again, when people were crying and complaining, making just a ruckus about this simple feature that can be easily turned off for them, and they don't understand that for other people, it's going to make or break this game for them. Disabled people, children, very small kids who don't have the motor skills to steer. This is the reason why sometimes I don't listen to the fake outrage, and I didn't even make a freaking video on the smart steering stuff. Because the reason why I didn't, because I already knew what a lot of the audience would say out there. But then when you hear stories like this, it's like, no, it's a great feature, and it's something that I'm glad Nintendo put into the game. So really happy for her. My daughter uses the smart steering feature and the auto drive as well. So I'm really happy Nintendo put it in. You don't have to put it in, and most people that are using it aren't going to beat the people that are really good at the game anyway. It's just in there for families to get together and play if you have young kids or disabled or whatever the case is. So I'm really happy that Nintendo put it in there, and this is a perfect example of why it is in the game in the first place, and maybe part of the reason why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been selling so well and had such a positive reception from so many people, hardcore gamers to casual gamers right here. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Japan, we take a closer look at Fire Emblem Echoes' first week of sales. So during the first 4 days on the market, it sold around 132,000 copies, which is less than half of Fire Emblem Fate's 304,000 from Birthright, Conquest, and the Special Edition combined. Now, the new Mystery of the Emblem, which is a remake that came out on the DS in July 2010, sold around 136,000 copies in its first week, but it did sell through 80% of its initial shipment. So it falls in line with what Nintendo has done as far as the remakes go, when they take a really old game and they remake it with new visuals and things like that, but it still didn't catch up to where the last game was. But I think I know the reason why. As far as the last game seemed more of a grand, like, epic than this game here. Even though this game has far more additions to it, there was just such a build-up from Awakening into Fates. But even with that being said, the sales are still really good, and it's on par with what they did before as far as Mystery of the Emblem, and they did sell through 80% of their shipments, so that's a really high sell-through rate. I'm really looking forward to Fire Emblem Echoes myself as far as Shadows of Valentia, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game and actually do better, probably West, than it did in Japan. So let me know what you guys think about these sales in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Nintendo, on continuing to bring great franchises to Nintendo 3DS, won't say if the new 2DS XL is the last redesign for the system to 3DS. So this is coming from a Verge interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé, Nintendo of America President and COO. We believe this is a key addition to the line, a very important platform. It's something that we're going to continue to drive this year and next year. We're going to continue to have great games leveraging all of our great franchises, just like the Nintendo Switch is going to have its own development pace and own set of experiences. Clearly, there's a processing power difference between the different systems. You couldn't have an experience like Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo 3DS family. But on the other hand, with the 2 screens and with the 3D capability, there are experiences that we will create for the Nintendo 3DS family that you can't have on the Nintendo Switch. By continuing to do that, we'll drive the install base of both of our platforms and continue to drive overall Nintendo business. That's our thinking. When asked whether this would be the last redesign for the Nintendo 3DS, Reggie couldn't say. Our focus is on making sure this launch goes well, and what the future holds, we'll see. So there's quite a bit of talk on this, especially via Twitter, with some large personalities, YouTubers and things like that saying that, oh, well, this announcement means that Nintendo isn't confident in the Switch or stuff like that, and that's nothing farther from the truth. What Nintendo is doing with the 3DS and what they're doing with the Nintendo Switch is trying to drive overall business. Why sell only one device and put everything into one device when you can have 2 devices and maximize sales on both? look, the Switch is going to be a hot selling item no matter what the 3DS does. They can kill the 3DS right now, and at this point, the Switch would still be selling hot. They can leave the 3DS and continue making games for it, and the Switch is still going to be selling hot. As long as there's great games coming to the Switch, people are going to continue buying the Switch. So the 3DS doesn't have too much of an effect on anything, to be honest. Nintendo has enough teams, Nintendo has enough smaller developers and outside developers they can contract to work with in order to get games on the 3DS and still have all of their main teams on the Nintendo Switch. So when I hear people saying that they shouldn't be doing this or it's a dumb idea, I say that's absolutely ridiculous. Why give up that massive install base of the 3DS? Why give up all the money that you could potentially make on the Nintendo 3DS with the far cheaper development if you look at what the tools that they're using, the team sizes and everything? No smart business person would say, let's just quit this and just go all into this one platform. No way at all. So I can understand why Nintendo's doing it. We're going to have a lot of software for the Nintendo Switch. We're going to have a lot of software for the 3DS. Nintendo's going to sell both of them, and they're both going to drive the platform forward as far as Nintendo content. Like I said before, I saw people in stores buying Nintendo Switches and 3DSs within the same family, like cousins. They were all going there buying Nintendo content. That's what Nintendo wants. Nintendo wants to see that you're buying their Switches and you're buying 3DS if you're a new gamer coming in. It's a lot cheaper as far as the price goes, and then maybe that 3DS purchase will lead to a Nintendo Switch purchase next year or the year after. It's a very simple thing. It's not very hard or complex business. I think this is a fantastic idea, and it's going to fly off shelves, and it's a smart business move on Nintendo's end. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Koei Tecmo says that they have multiple Nintendo Switch exclusives coming, in addition to getting their own engines running multi-platform when it comes to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So Koei Tecmo has a long history with Nintendo, and they have been one of the stronger third-party supporters for Nintendo platforms over the years. And they recently released Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13 and Nobunaga's Ambition Spear of Influence in Japan, and have more announced. Nobunaga's Ambition Tashi and Knights of Azure 2 were announced recently, and they are developing a Fire Emblem Warriors game with Nintendo as well. The company has a lot more in the works for the Nintendo Switch apparently. Koei Tecmo's president and chairman stated that the company's multi-platform engine has been Switch embedded, which means that they can now generate PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch titles automatically, which will make development much easier. He also spoke positively about the Nintendo Switch's hybrid concept and play anywhere motif as the reason why they will support it. Most notably though, Koei Tecmo confirmed that they have several Nintendo Switch exclusives in the works, and the company plans to release as many Switch games as possible, one after the other. So once again, Japan, we're seeing this with the Nintendo Switch. It's a little bit different than the strategy that people played with the Wii U and with the 3DS. The Switch Down is a hot selling system. The concept is so popular in Japan, and a lot of these Japanese developers are going to start developing a lot of games on the Nintendo Switch. Like we said before, as far as multi-platform development, yes, the Switch isn't as strong as PC, PS4, and Xbox One, but that's okay. It's strong enough for a lot of different developers to get their engines running on the Nintendo Switch because of the architecture, because it's more modern. That's the biggest difference between the Wii U, 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch when it comes to what Nintendo is doing and multi-platform development. It's a lot easier for developers to work with this time around, so you're going to see guys like Koei Tecmo and a lot of other Japanese developers hop on when it comes to Nintendo Switch, because it is a good selling system in Japan, and it's probably going to take off a lot further than the PS4 is going to be in Japan, and I think it's even going to reach potentially Nintendo 3DS levels, or probably even higher, depending on what games come to the system, because I feel that the Nintendo Switch could get more third-party support than the 3DS gets when it comes to major third-party games from Japanese developers. So this is great to see. I can't wait for Fire Emblem Warriors. I think that game is going to be amazing. Already what they've shown, a little snippet of gameplay, looks awesome, and I think Fire Emblem fits the whole Warriors Musou style a lot better than Zelda. And what other Switch exclusives could they be working on? E3 is going to be big for Nintendo. Maybe we get the first glimpse of some of those there. Alright, and moving on to the last article here, guys. I want to break something to you guys. I haven't said this to anyone else as far as me saying it or what's going on, but the whole Rabbids plus Mario, or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom battle game that's been rumored, that's been heavily rumored, has been hinted by Ubisoft themselves. Various other personalities out there have been talking about it, but I do want to drop some exclusive information for you guys, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people know about, and I'm not sure if you've heard it from somewhere else or not, but I do want to talk about it, and that is the type of engine that this game will be running on. It's a rumor, obviously. This is just what I heard. It's not 100% confirmed, although I'm pretty confident that this game is real. But apparently this this game, Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, will be using the Ubisoft Snowdrop engine. Now, for those who don't know, the Ubisoft Snowdrop engine is used in games like The Division and South Park, The Fractured But Whole. I think both of those use the Snowdrop engine. If anything, The Fractured But Whole uses it, and I know The Division uses it as far as engines go. So this new game that Nintendo's working on with Ubisoft, but it's more of a Ubisoft game, Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, will be using the Snowdrop engine. We've heard some details from other sources out there saying that it's going to have some like laser cannons, and it's going to have different types of guns, which some people were saying, well, why would Nintendo do that? No, that's crazy that Mario would be holding a laser cannon or guns. Like, no, it's not. They do that in Smash Brothers all the time. One of my Twitter users pointed out. So it's not so crazy to see them holding guns or anything like that. But apparently there should be some more information soon from other sources that people would say are a lot more credible than myself. So hopefully we'll be getting more information from those different sites soon on this game. But I did want to drop some information as far as rumored stuff that I have heard myself, and we'll see if it actually comes to fruition here. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you Ninja for the next video. Peace.